Hi everyone, I'm Marco and in this video I'm gonna show you the Huawei Mate 30 Pro. I've tested the Mate 30 in the past and it really impressed me, but it had one huge flaw, that it's missing the Google Play Store and the Google services. This problem still persists till today, so the Mate 30 Pro is also affected. But before we take a closer look at the software situation, let's find out what the Mate 30 has to offer. The design is very similar to the Mate 30 and for an untrained eye, these two can easily be mistaken for one another. Though the Mate 30 is a little taller and wider due to the 6.62-inch screen in comparison to the 6.53-inch screen on the Mate 30 Pro. And the Mate 30 Pro brings curved sides, which makes the phone smaller too. The OLED in the Mate 30 Pro has a resolution of 2400 x 1176 pixels, which sounds a little strange, but these extra pixels in the width are just due to the curved sides. At the end, it is more or less a full HD Plus resolution like the Mate 30. I must say I was a little surprised that Huawei did not use the QHD panel for their flagship model. The curves of the display are very pronounced and the sharpest I have seen. The Mate 30 Pro comes with a special function since there are no volume buttons. You can use the side part of the screen itself to change the volume. And because the side part of the screen takes up half of the phone, the only button left is a very slim power button, and it had to move to the back of the half of the side. Complicated, but just take a look. That is a little strange placement for a button, but you get used to it pretty fast. Compared to the Mate 30, that is a more flashy design, but I still prefer the flat screen of the Mate 30 and the physical volume buttons. The build quality is great as one would expect from Huawei. The device just feels great in the hand and despite its size, it still fits well in one hand. The Mate 30 Pro has a huge notch with a lot of sensors built in. Huawei made their own version of Apple's Face Unlock, and for that 3D recognition all these sensors are needed. The Mate 30 only offers 2-day Face Unlock, but the notch is less than half the size. In contrast to Apple's iPhone, the Mate 30 Pro also offers a fingerprint reader. The optical fingerprint sensor is located under the glass. Both the face recognition and the fingerprint reader worked fine, but I could just live with the fingerprint sensor alone. It gave me more control when I wanted to unlock the phone. On the plus side, the forehead and chin are very small and there are almost no bezels on the sides because of the curved display. The Mate 30 Pro offers great hardware with the Kirin 990, 8GB of RAM and fast UFS 3.0 memory. There are two options available, 128GB and 256GB of internal memory. And you can expand that memory with Huawei's own format of the nano memory card. Or you could just use two SIM cards if you wanted to. All apps and games run just fine on the Huawei Mate 30 Pro if you can install them and you get to run them at all because of that horrible software situation. I will talk a little more in detail about it in just a moment. When it comes to the rest of the hardware spec, the Mate 30 Pro has an IR blaster, NFC and an IP68 rating. That all sounds really good. And there's also a 40-watt fast charging via cable and 27-watt fast charging for wireless charging. And you can also charge other devices via reverse wireless charging. The huge 4500 mAh battery lasts easily through a heavy day, and that includes occasional gaming sessions. Of course, there is no headphone jack. Would anyone have expected otherwise? And unfortunately there is only one mono speaker, which sounds pretty okay, but still it's just a mono speaker. Let's get back to the volume buttons that are missing on the Mate 30 Pro. Even after using the phone for a while, I didn't get used to the way the volume is changed here. You have to double tap on the side, either on the left or the right upper side of the screen, and then you can just change the volume as you are used to on an Android phone via the slider. I didn't get used to it, and it usually took me more than one try to change the volume. The Huawei Mate 30 Pro got 3 cameras plus a depth sensor on the back. Here we got a 40 megapixel standard camera, a 40 megapixel ultra wide camera and an 8 megapixel telephoto camera with a 3x optical zoom. I'm pretty happy with the pictures the cameras produce. The images are sharp, have great dynamic range and just look good without being oversaturated. The colors do shift between the cameras, and it seems to be the white balance that is the main cause for that. The main cameras can shoot 4K video with up to 60 FPS, and the stabilization is really good, even in 4K. The dynamic range is still good and the image overall is very pleasing. It is really nice that you can switch between the cameras while you are recording. There is a little jump when the camera app switches between cameras, but it's still great that it's possible at all, because many phone manufacturers don't even support that at all. So, and when it comes to the front-facing camera, we are dealing with 32 megapixels, but we still only got Full HD recordings. There's no 4K available. That's very sad, to be honest. When it comes to the picture, the sound quality and the stabilization, well, take a look. I'm walking down a trail right now, and I think the stabilization is pretty okay. So that works fine. And well, the picture is okay, but still, it's only Full HD, and that is a little disappointing in 2020. The pictures look good, but I'm just missing the 4K video with the front camera. When it comes to selfie pictures, you better turn off the beauty mode, which makes me look really strange. Besides that, the images are great too. They have good colors and a lot of dynamic range. The cameras are for sure one of the best parts of this phone. The ultra wide angle camera enables pictures that would otherwise not have been possible, and overall the photos just look good. Well, let's talk about the software situation. It is still a huge struggle and it will continue. There are no Google services available, and that means there is no Google Play Store and there are no Google apps available. I wish there was an easy workaround, but there is none, at least right now. The Huawei App Gallery is no real alternative to the Google Play Store. It is possible to sideload apps via APK Mirror, but Google Apps still won't work. A hint that I got from the community is to install the Amazon App Store. That works, but it's still just sideloading apps with a nicer interface. And there are many apps missing, and so it's not a perfect solution. When it comes to plain Android, there's Android 10 running on the Mate 30 Pro with EMUI 10. If you don't need the Google Play Store, then you're just fine. But for most people, the software situation just doesn't work. If there would not be the ban of Huawei in the US, the Mate 30 could be one of the best phones right now. But with the missing Google Play services, this phone is no option for me. But even if the ban got resolved, I would still prefer the Mate 30. I like the flat screen better, the cameras are great too, and the price is much better. For the variant with 128GB internal memory, you pay 784 euros for the Mate 30 Pro on train Shenzhen and 527 euros for the Mate 30. That is a much better price than the Mate 30 Pro, but still way too much money for a phone without Google services. As much as I like the hardware, this software is just horrible, and so, as I said, it's no option for me. I'm still gonna put the links in the description if you want to take a closer look at these devices. But as I said, for me these are no option at all. If you don't need Google services, then go ahead. They got great hardware, but until the ban is resolved, the Huawei products are just not for me. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, share the video, and I'll see you in the next one.